What's up, world? It's your girl, Shirla Pearl, back with another video for the Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 10, Episode 12. And the name of this episode is called Potomac and Ponies and Problems. Okay. Happy holidays, everybody. I've been busy with my other job, so I'm going to try to get through this real quick because money is time and time is money. Okay. Everything I say is alleged and strictly my opinion. If you can get with that, you can get with me. So let's go. Let's get into it. So the episode starts with Wendy being a mean girl, talking to Angel, singing, well, we ain't gonna dance around it. People said you was evicted. And let me just say that stop right now. Wendy, when she get your ass together about the shit that is on you, baby, at the reunion, I'ma sit with my popcorn, throwing it up in my mouth with glee. Okay? And I'ma just say this. I'm getting ahead of myself. I understand a little bit why you a mean girl as it relates to that mama of yours. It might be misdirected anger, but nonetheless, baby professor, you a nasty one. And I hope she get you together. Okay. So basically, Angel responds like, we wasn't evicted home, girl. And Ashley tries to chime in like she concerned. I'm just really concerned, and long as you guys are okay. And Angel lets her know we are okay. So also some shady stuff that Ashley did. She looks up the definition of eviction. It's expelled. It's to leave. Ashley girl. Uh, I used to like you. I really did. But you a mean girl too. You are. You a mean girl too. You ain't got no storyline, so you co-producing. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, Sharice goes up to Teemo and Stacey and her daughter. And it's like, oh, this is Teemo, introduces herself. Stacey in her confessional is basically saying, who comes up to somebody's husband with lingerie on? Let me just say this and hear me good, goddamn it, and hear me, and y'all can take it for whatever y'all want to take it. Sharice does not fit the criteria for Teemo. And that's not saying she ugly. That's not saying she is not attractive or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that Teemo would not just be somewhere and try to hit on Sharice. Okay? And we're going to get to why I say that later on. Okay? So, Teemo actually leaves after that. It's this introduction to Wendy and say they want to move forward, blah, blah, blah. So soon as he leaves, Wendy mean girl ass and ran her ass up to Giselle and was like, Teemo's gone. So Giselle is basically like, before I can question him, interrogate him, whatever, when I first thought he was part of the rec room staff, you a lie because you seen them all three walking in together, the baby, Stacy, and him. And y'all was shocked because you have yet to bring a man in front of us. Okay? Miss Grand Dame Jr. But anyway, Giselle need to worry about her own men. I think she didn't have such bad luck with men. She's scared to be out there because every time they come out to the forefront, it's some scandal. But anywho, they start playing games, three-legged race, snooze, this and that. They look a fool. Of course, Ashley and Giselle team up together. But while they playing the game, Sharice's son walk up he's a nice-looking guy named Jackson. Come to find out, Ashley then I think it was more than a smooch, allegedly. But they did some things. I guess a couple of days before she had a little too much to drink, and he took her home and they smooched. Allegedly. I still think it was more. He looked real metrosexual too, but no shade. But um, oh god, it's just a lot because it's so. I finally, I'm gonna just say it. You know what? I finally see the attraction that her and Michael have. I couldn't understand it. I thought it was all about money, like this rich white man. I'm gonna just get some money. Don't not live in poverty. Get him to buy me a restaurant, this, that, and other. But baby, what I think it is that you and Michael are some freaks. And I really think that's the connection above anything. I think the money was a bonus because you could have got a broke guy that was a freak. You didn't though. And it's just like your friend's son. That could be so awkward, I would think. But it's just like, girl, go sit in some ice water and cool that thing down. Damn, Ashley. So anyway, um, I mean, damn. Anyway, so Wendy overhears the conversation with Sharice's son and Ashley, and she basically says, "Oh, y'all smooch, girl. I hope nobody better not be talking to my sons." And I know we ain't supposed to talk about the babies, but Wendy, you all right. You gonna be all right. Okay? Your sons are safe from being talked to. And no shade, baby, but yeah, I don't think nobody gonna be trying to talk to them like that. So after the game, they go sit down to eat the food. So Stacy is trying to pile some potato salad on Wendy's daughter, what's her name? Cameron plate. And the little girl is looking about as shady as Wendy and the grandmama. You can already tell she gonna be a trick. But baby, you gonna have to up. I'ma stop. I ain't gonna even say it because I was about to say you're gonna have to up your cuteness, but that's wrong. I ain't supposed to say that. She cute and whatever. So anyway, they wind up she asked her it just so happened that Stacy sat at the table with Wendy, her BFF, Eddie and the kids, and her daughter was there. So then she asks Eddie, have he tasted? And he trying to be like, oh, it's so much on my plate. So then he take a little snippet of it and he like, I like it. And so Wendy like, take another bite. And he like, I got so much on my plate. I mean, he just a pandering ass. You could tell that he's well trained by Wendy. It almost remind me of a Toya Eugene thing. And I'm sorry, I like Eugene. He, one of my favorite doctors on the show because he's so nice, but it just seemed like Wendy be dog walking you, allegedly. That's my opinion. I don't care. So anyway, the next scene, and that catfish still look a hot ass mess. Ashley, non-cooking ass. So the next scene, they go to Tia's house. Oh God. And the issue here is Tia want her kids to start doing some chores. And I'm like, to start? Girl, these big ass kids. So she's asking them what chores do they want. They don't want none of them. I'm going to just sum this up real quick. You don't tell them or ask them what chores they want. You assign the chores and you rotate them, okay? Welcome to America, Tia. This shit is really pissing me off with these little privileged ass kids. And then what was really weird in the situation, she was like, who keeps kissing the mirror? The little boy said him. I'm like, no, he was like, I don't do that anymore. So I just don't understand that. And the daddy in the mix, ain't nobody got girl. This is really upsetting me and my home girl. Damn. I'm moving on. Cause that's that girl, stop. So the next scene is Teemo and Stacy. And I guess this is Stacy's house. They have like a little workout center, treadmill, some weights and everything. So Stacy basically says she don't work out. She more of a yoga girl. She do yoga or whatever. And you could tell she's slim and whatever. She don't have no muscle tone. She just slim with big boobs. She probably don't eat much. So she makes a comment, couples that sweat together stay together. And clearly we're trying to stay together. I mean, girl, I need to see net worth. I do. Cause I'm sorry, the looks is not given. So I'm just assuming the money is. And sex wear out. So she doing all these little struggling with all these little exercises, right? So one in particular is her with a it's not a medicine ball, but the plastic ball behind up on the wall, and she rolling back and forth. And she's saying that she want a bigger butt. The girl says she need a bigger butt. And he was like, I hope not. That is what brings me back to Sharice. He not looking for nobody with no ethnic features. And that's just my opinion on that. Stacy is straight up and down. Stacy is the 80s look. What is that? Baywatch look. Wasn't no hips and ass. It was just skinny and titties. That's what Stacy give. And that's what I was talking about with Cherie. Girl, you might be a little too African American for his taste. So they get to talking about he asked her, she says he still has his own house, but he asked her, do you like me being back? And she was like, I think we made the right decision. And they doing it for Arabella. Then they do this cringy ass kiss. I'm just confused. If it was all this, we didn't see him none last season. It was all AJ. And now he just back after the divorce and love. To me, it's seeming like a scheme that not even Todd set up, but it just seemed like, I don't know if I fully trust fan favorite Stacy. You know what I'm saying? So, they act like they doing it for the baby or whatever. It just seemed, when you a fan favorite, I think you can negotiate that pay up too. But like I said, we still want to know his net worth, because it's just not given for me. Okay. So, the next scene, that's pretty much all to that. The next scene is Homegirl Angel. I'm sorry. The next scene is Eddie and Wendy. They house finished after 2 months. And when I tell you the house looking good, the house is looking good. And I hope the prosecutors are not watching, allegedly, because it looked like money. Yeah, was spent. So she goes on this thing about she want to call her dad. She haven't physically seen him in 20 years. She know that they divorced when she was young, but she still felt the void of not having her father. Now, to my understanding, this is a man that has multiple kids, never did nothing for her. She had a stepfather that kind of filled in, most of her life. So I don't know if this is storyline. So Wendy calls him on FaceTime. Her dad don't look, I was expecting somebody with gray hair and old, and I don't know what I was expecting, but I don't know if he got some just for me, but he ain't look that old. And they basically, the conversation is she was in Nigeria with her kids and everything. She really wanted to see him. She felt sad that she didn't see him. But I think her oldest boy is what, 10, 11, 12? Girl, if a person want to see you, they're going to try to see you. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't understand why this hurt or if this is a storyline or a deflection, you know, because it pissed your mama off, but I'm getting ahead of that. But they basically say they miss each other, and the daddy said no dwell in the past. Then he asked to speak to Eddie. He said Eddie's looking good, and whatever, whatever. But baby, a relationship is a two-way street. Is how I feel about it. It takes two people to be in relation for it to work. So I mean, I don't really know about that. So I mean, girl, if you want a relationship with her, fly your ass to Nigeria, you and your kid. Well, I don't know if you can leave the country just yet. So anyway, moving on. Uh the next scene is Giselle. She talking to the foundation, you know, in regards to her father, snooze fest. I'm sorry, Giselle, but it is. I'm gonna just keep moving. So the next scene is Kiana and Gray. So she moving in the house. She got boxes. She done pulled up in the Range Rover. Yeah, uh-huh. And yeah, she moving in boxes and everything and saying that she don't care what nobody think about the relationship. It's, they know each other and everything going good. And, she ain't really concerned about what her mama or the girls got to say. She know that the ring would be like the cherry on top or whatever. So basically, she asked him a question, and this should have been her notice because you always get a clue and we ignore it. She said, so, whenever I move in or when we get married, will you just go change the deed and put my name on the house? And he was like, well, if. And she was like, no, when. You shouldn't have to correct that. Again, we're talking about somebody who was already married. And a lot of times when people feel at it, it's really hard for them to get back into it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some people just keep going and keep going and keep going, but you know. But what's so stupid about this thing is that he brings her a gift. And it's in this big ass box. And she pull out some roses. But then she pull out another box that's big as hell, too big for a ring, and it's from the jewelry store from the episodes back. And she like, eyes wide, it's a goddamn picture frame. And he talking about for our picture together, our first picture together. And if I wouldn't have broke that shit over his head and went back to my condo, I don't know what else could have been done. I was like, okay, so did the producers get in his head? Was he just trying to embarrass her? Girl, you heard the saying, why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? And again, I see that he got on like some little, that might be a gold Rolex and or whatever, but when I look at them, I just feel like they are not compatible. But he must got some money because they said she was, she deal with the money boys, the big dope boys, allegedly. That's what the streets saying, honey. You don't come to me with it. That's what the streets say. But um she also talks about the condo that is in her name completely. And, you know, do you think we would change the deed on everything? But, it's just, girl, it's given desperation. It's given, maybe he do got some ducats, but baby, I would go to Hillsburg or Case. I ain't even trying to be broke coming into the wedding broke after I done bought a condo and a house. And who knows if he bought them? You could still be paying a mortgage. There's a difference in cashing something out and paying a mortgage. So anyway, girl, I don't know what to tell you. If it ain't no ring by the end of this season or at the reunion, then we gonna hang it up. It's giving desperate. So the next thing, little bit of a snooze fest. I'm gonna run through it. It's Tia and her half sister. She has a sister that her father had. Pretty girl. Oh, and I could see the resemblance, but they meet and she basically says that the father wanted all of them to get along, but out of respect for her mom, she kind of kept her distance. He even wanted the other kids, I think it's two other kids, to come to her wedding, and she was like, absolutely not. And I get it. Um, I'm a product of other kids from my father, but I will say that the relationship for me is not there. I mean, I feel like those kind of things have to be established by the parent. I mean, we were around them in our younger I was around them in my younger age, but growing up, if you don't keep that connection, people, they just grow apart, I guess, or I ain't gonna get into their business, but some of them just wasn't available. They was locked away, and others in states away. And I mean, I don't know. I'm just happy with my little family, which includes me and my husband, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. So anyway, but I thought it was nice that they garner in a relationship, and you know, cool. So the last and final scene. Wendy mama and sister come over, and they looking at the house, and the mama oohing and on and everything looking good. She got some little snacks on the table, and Wendy got some black toilet paper. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm just envisioning. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess because I've always had white cream or whatever, but okay. And she basically says that it was pricey and everything. So Wendy lets them know that she reached out to her father. And the sister is looking kind of disgusted, like, don't get your hopes up high. And he's not going to be that father figure you looking for. And at 40 something odd years old, and he ain't been in your life this long, Wendy, you should be all right, honey. If not, go get you some counseling. So Wendy basically said, well, he's my father, and he had, he gave me life, something to that extent. And the mother, like, basically, I carried you and gave you life. He ain't do nothing. Well, first of all, let's put it in your damn corner. You the one that chose him. Wendy ain't chose him. You chose him. So you chose an ain't shit ass guy to be your kid's father. Then you talking about all these goddamn jobs you didn't work to take care of them. And it is probably because of you is allegedly why this damn fraud case is going on, living to keep up an image. And then she giving you allowances and gotta pay you back. I am so sick of these entitled ass mothers who think they could come into their adult kid's life and just say and do whatever because you had me. First of all, having a person is a choice. And none of us asked to be here. Shit. I thought Oprah could have been my mama. So I mean, that's bullshit. And if you choose to carry something to term, you ain't give it up for adoption and raise it or whatever, that is all choice, honey. No kids asked to be here, okay? So to come and flip it on her, but her mama got downright indignant, and she would have had to leave my goddamn house. So basically, Wendy, the mama going off about the daddy. Wendy tries to excuse her kids. The mama don't like that because Wendy pointed like, wait. And I don't think she ain't pointing her face. She ain't touch your lip. Nothing that I seen was disrespectful. And the mama went on 10, 20. But the mama is very aware of the cameras, okay? She telling her to shut the F up and all that in front of her husband and earshot of her kids. You dead ass wrong. And that's why that little girl got that little snappy attitude. That's why Wendy is a mean girl. And baby, the cycle will go on and on, you know? And I just wouldn't deal with nobody. You can love people from a distance. That is my whole life change. I would love your ass from a distance. You are not gonna bring me down. You are not gonna disrupt my peace. Or none of that. I don't give a damn who you are, other than Jesus Christ. Okay? Because he the one that gives me strength to deal with it. But I can't. Life is too short for these people to be talking, treating, belittling you, no matter if it's your mama, your daddy, or your grandmama. You know what I'm saying? And I know in their culture that they big on respect, and you can let them. I'ma tell you for sure. The girl that braids my hair, I get my hair braided at an African braiding shop. The lady, the auntie be talking to her all kind of ways, crazy. So I started going to her house. I didn't even want to go to the shop no more to get my hair braided. And I told her, and her whole big thing is, you have to respect your elders, but it ain't no damn respect back. I can't get with that. So anyway, her mother is calling her disrespectful and all of this. Wendy want them out. Eddie comes out, of course, telling her, I love you. You got me. But the mama and sister leave mad, all because she reached out to her daddy, the nigga you chose, boo. So it's just really, really crazy. Her and her sister get into it all over contacting the daddy. Damn. Was it really worth it to even bring it up if you knew how she felt about him? You got a good saying, they ended with it, but it's just crazy. It's just crazy for her mama to go. You know that the cameras is up and you going off like that. You know, I had secondhand embarrassment for her, and I don't even like her. Okay, for the guy you chose to be your choice. You chose that man. Then you chose to carry kids the full term and found out he wasn't about nothing. Girl, bye. Her mama telling her to shut up and everything. Girl, bye. But they wound up leaving with their funny looking booties, and that pretty much was the end. She telling Eddie, I'm always by myself. I'm always by myself. And he's like, I'm with you, baby. I know you are. You act like you're scared of her. So anyway, that's all I got. Because I'm getting upset. But like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video. And I'll be back next week with another one. Bye.